We'll go to James next, who's been waiting from Mims, Florida. Good morning.
Good morning. I support putting the citizenship question on there because that affects my representation in Congress. I served 31 years in the Air Force, and I'm working for a company with NASA, and I want that on there because illegals are not entitled to vote. They're not even entitled to be in our country. Therefore, we may need to know how many people are here, but we definitely need to know if they're citizens or not, because that affects my political opinions and my representation.
James, thanks. Let's get an opposing view and then get your reaction, Kathy Fang. Patrick, who's joining us from Irontown, Ohio, good morning. You oppose the question. Why?
I oppose it simply because, just going back into history, one side of my family came from Ireland and the other side came from Germany. I can see where they all participated in the census, and none of them were citizens. And they all had a rough road to hoe. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're in a bit of a quagmire right now, but they were in a quagmire too back when they were in the mid-1800s.
Thank you for the call. So 2 different points of view. Kathy Fang, what's your concluding summary, your thoughts?
I think that the history of America is that we have counted all Americans who reside here for the census, precisely because of your caller from Ohio's observation that most of us, other than people who are Native Americans, came to the U.S. at some point through a process of coming from another place, right? And that process of becoming a citizen doesn't mean that you're any less American. It sometimes takes time, and sometimes a lot of our populations, whether you were Irish back then or you're Asian American now or Latino, you can face some serious hurdles. Some of that is discriminatory and some of it's just a long, long wait. And that doesn't make you any less American. It certainly doesn't mean that we shouldn't be counting you for the census. I'll say to your caller in Florida that if you don't count every single American, Florida is likely to lose seats in Congress. And so you want to make sure that we are reflecting every single person who lives here, because ultimately those people who become full-fledged participating members of American society, as voters or not, are people who we need to take care of. This is a country that is inclusive. We have the Statue of Liberty that reminds us that we are a country that welcomes people to our shores, and we want to count every single one of them in the census.